They were born into the dust of a shattered global economy. And they came of age under the terrifying, blood-soaked shadow of the Second World War. Before they even had a chance to understand the world fell apart. Caught between the towering heroism of the greatest generation before them and the loud cultural rebellion of the baby boomers. After them, they are the forgotten demographic. They didn't demand the spotlight. They didn't protest. They just put their heads down and survived. Today, we dive deep into the psychology of the silent generation. How did the horrific trauma of the Great Depression and World War II forge a generation defined by quiet resilience? And how did their unspoken pain turn them into the architects of the modern world? To understand their psychological framework, we have to start at the beginning. If you were born between 1928 and 1945, your earliest cognitive memories were defined by one word: scarcity. The Great Depression wasn't just a financial crisis. It was a psychological trauma that fundamentally rewired their developing brains. Psychologically, growing up in extreme poverty instills a permanent scarcity mindset. This is why your grandparents kept a basement full of canned goods, washed and reused plastic bags, and refused to throw away broken appliances. Their brains were permanently imprinted with the fear that everything could be taken away tomorrow. And just as the economy began to heal, their teenage years were hijacked by the most horrific conflict in human history, World War II. While their older brothers went off to fight, the silent generation were the children left behind on the home front, listening to the radio, terrified of telegrams, participating in air raid drills. They learned a brutal lesson very early on. The world is incredibly dangerous, and human life is fragile. They watched adults panic. They watched millions die. And because the adults were too busy trying to save the world, these children were largely left to process this massive psychological trauma entirely on their own. In 1951, Time magazine coined the term the silent generation. They noted that these young adults weren't making demands. They weren't writing fiery manifestos. They were keeping their heads down. But this silence wasn't a lack of intelligence or ambition. Psychologically, it was a profound survival mechanism. When you survive extreme chaos, your brain's primary objective becomes stability. The silent generation realized that standing out, making noise, or challenging the system brought danger. They learned that the nail that sticks out gets hammered down. Silence was armor. Conformity was safety. This created the era of the company man. After the war, they didn't want to start risky businesses or travel the world to find themselves. They wanted a steady paycheck, a pension, and a quiet house in the suburbs. They aggressively pursued the nuclear family because, for the first time in their lives, they had the power to create a safe environment. But this desperate need for stability came with a heavy psychological cost: emotional repression. The psychological horrors of the Depression and World War II were simply buried. There was no therapy. There was no concept of mental health days. You just swallowed your trauma, went to work, and provided for your family. Because of this, they mastered something the modern world has almost entirely lost: extreme delayed gratification. They believed in paying your dues. They worked jobs they hated for 40 years just to ensure their children, the baby boomers, would never have to know the hunger or fear that they experienced. Which brings us to the middle chapter of their lives. What did they learn from the disasters of their youth? They learned self-reliance. If something broke, you didn't buy a new one, you fixed it. They learned that happiness isn't found in luxury, but in survival, duty, and the quiet satisfaction of a hard day's work. By the time the 1960s rolled around, their children, the baby boomers, were protesting the government and demanding radical change. The silent generation looked at this with profound confusion. To them, disrupting the system felt like inviting the chaos of the Depression back into their lives. But here is the greatest paradox of the silent generation. They were called silent. They were known as conformists, yet they produced some of the most profound, world-altering leaders in modern human history. They didn't just survive, they quietly reshaped the world. Look at the civil rights movement. Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, John Lewis. They were all born directly into the silent generation. They took the stoic, iron-willed endurance they learned from the Depression, and they weaponized it for justice. They weren't loud just for the sake of being loud. Their rebellion was deeply calculated, disciplined, and strategic. They worked from within the system to change the system. They were the engineers who put mankind on the moon. They were the lawmakers who wrote the civil rights legislation. They didn't post their opinions for validation. They put their heads down and did the agonizing, unglamorous work of building the infrastructure of the modern free world. As they moved into their later years, they evolved from survivors into mentors. They had witnessed the absolute worst of humanity during the war, and the absolute worst of nature during the Depression. This gave them an incredibly unique psychological trait: perspective. While younger generations panic over minor inconveniences, the silent generation possesses a deep, grounding calm. When you have seen global starvation and world-ending warfare, a stock market dip or a career setback doesn't break you. They became the psychological anchors for their families. They passed down the ultimate psychological tool: grit. They taught us that you are not defined by what happens to you, but by how quietly and strongly you carry the burden. They taught us that you do not need to constantly broadcast your struggles to validate your pain. True resilience doesn't require an audience. In today's hyper-connected, oversharing culture, where every minor trauma is broadcasted for sympathy, the psychology of the silent generation feels almost alien. We live in an age of loud complaints, whereas they lived in an age of quiet duty. Did their emotional repression cause generational trauma? Yes, in many ways it did. But we also have to acknowledge the immense psychological strength it took to absorb the horrors of the early 20th century and refuse to pass that chaos onto their children. They absorbed the shockwave so the next generation could thrive. They are the generation that stood in the gap. They are the bridge between the analog world of horses and the digital world of the internet. They survived the worst the 20th century had to offer, and instead of becoming bitter, they became builders. As we lose more of them every day, we are losing a living library of resilience. We are losing the mentors who knew how to weather the storm without screaming at the rain. Their legacy isn't written in loud internet posts or self-aggrandizing books. Their legacy is the very ground we walk on. They may have been called the silent generation, but their actions roared. They remind us that sometimes the most powerful psychological response to a chaotic, terrifying world is simply to endure, to rebuild, and to quietly lead the way forward. Do you have parents or grandparents from the silent generation? What is the greatest lesson they taught you? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for our next deep dive into the human mind.